Hey, how's it going, everybody? It's Ryan Saplan here, fat loss strength coach, talking about the deadlift, how to deadlift with perfect form, how to deadlift properly, how to deadlift. And I'm going to talk to you today about glutes, activation of your glutes, and deep hip flexion. And what that simply means is being in this bottom position of deadlift, being able to use your glutes from initiation. Because it's one of the reasons why people fail the deadlift or why they lose their back position, because they can't get their glutes to activate properly, so they end up yanking on the bar using too much of their lower back from the initial pull. But before I do that, in case you want to get a free deadlift, a free gift from me, a free deadlift workout, there'll be a link over here or here, or check the link in the description if you're on mobile. But let's talk about this. What am I talking about? Glute activation, right? And deep flexion. What is that, right? Glute activation and deep flexion is something pretty simple. But the problem with having glute activation and deep flexion is the reason why people have trouble with this is because they don't have their hips back enough. So they can't maintain this space here, right? So in order for when you get to the bottom of a deadlift, or from the pull position, this space, this crease between the upper thigh bone and the torso, they don't know how to get any lower. So the only way to get lower is to do this, to round, right? And this is a problem. Because when you're in this position, you end up having to use your back to get the bar off the ground, and you're not able to use your glutes from initiation. Now, how do you get better glute activation? Well, there's some cues to think about and some things I want you to consider. And this is something you might notice when you see other lifters who are very strong, or maybe not even super strong lifters, just really good lifters. Actually, just anyone who deadlifts over 400 pounds is pretty strong. I mean, compared to the whole world. In the internet world, 400 pounds is not much weight when you talk about the YouTube powerlifting community, but the rest of the world's amazing. But that's aside. Going back to what I was talking about, the cue. What is the cue? Having your feet in a way where basically you have arches. That's the problem. People don't have arches, so they can't use their glutes. And if you can't get your arch in position, or you can't get that arch where it needs to be, where your foot is sort of like grabbing the ground, it's going to be hard to externally rotate the femur a little bit to get the glutes to engage. Now think about that being in deep flexion, right? And then being able to do that is very hard because people's back is rounded. If your stomach is tight and you're sitting down here, it's much easier to sort of get that position. One thing that does help, I just realized right now, is that if you have a similar stance to me, you can kind of use your arms as a guide, because then you can go down here and then you can push on your arms a little bit, just a little bit, not a lot, just so you can cue your glutes. And then you can activate the glutes from the initiation of the lift. Now that's something that's a little bit advanced, but keep in mind that all you're trying to do is you're trying to sort of spread the ground with your feet like this. Now you're not trying to excessively do it to a point where your knee bothers you. You're just trying to cue the glute to activate. Because remember, the muscle fibers of the glute, they connect from here, right, all the way down to here to the side. And when they contract and they shorten, what happens to the leg? The leg wants to go this way, right? Now, of course, if the knee is not moving or the hip is stationary or fairly straight, it's not going to move much. All you're going to see is, if you see my hands here, you're going to see the femur bone rotate out this way. And that's all you need to do to get better glute activation and deep flexion. So you go down here, keep a curve in your back, brace your abs, neutral spine, and then you're going to push your knees out a little bit, and then pull. And remember, what you're doing is, or push into the ground. Remember, what you're doing is, you're here at the front, all you're doing is you're rotating you're here at the bottom position, you're using your legs, you're balancing yourself on the barbell, and then you're using your feet to grab the ground, to push your knees out a little bit, while grabbing your big toe in to activate those glutes. Or, that's one way. The second way is to push just against your arms, like this, and then pull. So, I hope that helps. If that cue helps you, go ahead and click like. If you want to get a free deadlift workout from me, there'll be a link here or here for you to click on. If you're mobile, there'll be a link in the description. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber. If you have a question, feel free to comment below. And if you prefer to email me, you can email me at ryan@ryansaplan.com, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Thanks for watching. And this is Ryan Saplan, Fat Loss Strength Coach, signing off. I'll see you guys later.